What about all three? You smiled, a glorious plan forming just like that. What if you rode horses to a picnic, then strolled through one of the nearby villages? With permission, this time. Wouldn't want another person being mindlessly thrown into the dungeon. But oh, the weather is perfect, as if designed for such activities. A cloudless sky, little wind, and a smiling sun shining down. A romantic encounter it shall be, you promise yourself. And enclosing your fists in determination, you will make Shoto smile, laugh. Perhaps a kiss or two? You blush at the thought, squealing. You hadn't had much time to fangirl over your newfound fiancé after all. Fangirling is much deserved for a prince like him. Genes sure have aligned perfectly, haven't they? You can't imagine what would have happened if you had married Ida or Momo. Or, even more unimaginable, marrying Bakugo Katsuki. That blonde hedgehog could never match what you feel for Shoto. You love him. Oh, how you wish you could, well. Shout out to the stars, let the whole kingdom know. Who would have imagined an arranged marriage could have led to this? You sighed slightly, your dress, and calling Takashi inside your room. He must be rattled from the attack as well. You can only imagine losing 3 friends. They trained together to become guards. His smile saddened your heart, feeling of Athronia fading away. Your guard peeks in your room, his voice unwavering, yet there's a tone of undenying sadness. Yes, Your Majesty? How is the king doing? Any progress? You ask him, leaving your room and entering the hall. Honestly, Takashi says, the king is sort of a mess currently. The king has been getting better, but his advisory is collapsing. They're falling apart without Duke Callahan. I see. You fiddle with your hands. Is there perhaps a way for me and Shoto to go on a little trip? He thought for a moment. I'm afraid that wouldn't be such a good idea, the guard says, turning to you, with the attackers still at large and multiple people missing. I understand. You sigh. But is there any way? Well, actually, he smiles. Maybe if Shoto could sort all this out, then... If you can sort out the advisory until the king feels better, then they can focus on finding the person who attacked you that day in the courtyard, you exclaimed to Shoto, leaving out the part about the surprise trip. You are the king's son, so surely that shall respect you more than me. The king's advisor is a group of men, formerly led by Duke Callahan, who helped him make decisions in arranging things like treaties. Shoto sits with you in the garden. A considerable idea. Okay, I'll try it. I'm not sure what could be causing so much trouble, though. And so, here you are, in the advisory room, standing behind Shoto while he tries to calm down the advisors. They're all arguing, waving their hands around like wild animals. They haven't even noticed Shoto or yourself yet. There's about 6 of them. Normally 7, but Duke Callahan isn't here. Excuse me? Shoto tries to say, but not too loud. You clear your throat. If they won't listen to him, you'll make them. Excuse me! They all stop moving, turning their heads in shock. Eyes widen, they all bow in perfect sync, despite their fight moments before. Your Highnesses. One steps forward. He looks the youngest, the only one in the advisory not 50 years old. He looks your age, actually. Freckles dust his cheek. What's with all the ruckus? You ask sternly. Grown men should not behave this way, especially not of the men of the king's estate advisory. Callahan left us with this, one of the older men shouts, still angry. That bastard! Shoto frowns. You nudge him, urging him to speak. Do you know, men, anything about the Duke's betrayal? Shoto asks. You can sense the nervousness in the presence of the angry men. Betrayal? Whispers fly throughout the room, brows furrowed and papers is thrown to the front of the room. You catch it in your hand, glaring at the same man who threw it. Freckles apologizes. Oh my gosh, Your Highness, I'm so sorry. He's just angry. Please. Shota interrupts. Instead of recklessly and hopelessly explaining your anger through paper, why don't you speak like the man you expect to be? Or are you not worthy for the position you're in the advisory for? The elder man grits his teeth. Duke Callahan was no traitor. He was an idiot, sure, but that man didn't have the balls to defy that hot-headed Todoroki. Shoto gazes hardens. I assume you must be very close to the king, referring to him that way. The king is currently delirious and hysterical. Kind of disrespectful, don't you think? He shrieks under Shoto's eyes, correcting himself. Bless his majesty, and may he be well soon. That's better. The 6 men are frightened. Only the youngest apologizes. You unfold the paper ball that was thrown at you. You recall what the old man said. Callahan left us this, he said. The paper reads in sloppy handwriting. The king is ill. You may not see me for a while. In the meantime, take extraordinarily good care of my daughter. Why does such a short note anger them so much? And the Duke has a daughter? You read it to Shoto. Why is it worded so strangely? You ask him. Shoto turns to the 6 men before him. What about this angers you so much? Although he knew he was leaving, how could that be? He was a traitor for sure. Freckles steps up. Well, you see, the Duke had said something odd before he left. And now he left us this note. You must understand, we all have nothing to do with the attack on the castle. But, well, we fear we might have interrupted his note incorrectly. What do you mean? There's a secret message in the note, Freckles says. The Duke always likes puzzles.